So this game came out 8 days ago, and I've been playing it for 8 days. Anyway, welcome one and all. This is a beginner must know that you want to know before you get into this game. The first thing and the most important thing is this white button. You see a lot of characters here, and maybe one of these characters tickles your fancy. Maybe you want someone like Bai Yi with a sexy thunder thighs. Or maybe you're looking for a specific mummy milkers candidate that you want to raise in order to clear this game. Like Luvia Ray, for example. Either way, you probably have some character that you particularly like in this game and you want to make them as strong as possible. So what can you do in order to make them strong? Well, you have a couple of ways. You can promote them, which requires... this is not a good example actually. There we go. Which requires these coins as well as Mania Essence. Promote has a second tier where you can increase the upper limit that they can be raised to. That's where you need elemental substances and materials, as well as these coins. So it's quite an expensive process. You need these coins not only just for leveling their usual levels, you also need them for promoting, and you also need these coins for increasing their skill levels, which is the second way you can strengthen your character. These skill levels basically affect how much damage they can deal. Each level increases the percentage of the damage that they deal. That way you can make your mummy milkers candidate hurt as much as possible. The third way to strengthen them and the fourth way to strengthen them are shackles and crime brands. We won't talk too much about these because they're not fully in your control. These two, promotion and skills, they are wholly in your control. You can spend stamina in order to clear and strengthen your characters actively. The others, crime brands and shackles, they come with RNG elements, so don't worry about those too much. So, how can you strengthen your characters? Over here, the first page you'll be able to see is this area, this city. This city. I recommend clearing the story stages as far as you can, as fast as possible in fact, because every story stage not only gives you more hypercubes that you can use to pull more of your mummy milkers, you can also use it to increase increase the number of these materials you have in order to make them stronger, not just in skill levels but also in promotion levels. So aside from that, once you cleared the game to a certain degree, you get access to resource grinds, which is basically these stages. There's a gold rush stage, there's a seed of ill omen stage. My recommendation for you as a beginner is for you to clear these stages without borrowing support. Even if I don't get even if I don't fulfill the special mission condition here, I can still engage in the raid system. However, if you do clear some of these stages by borrowing supports, you won't get access to do the raid system. As you can see over here, I managed to clear this stage with a friend's unit, but I cannot activate a raid as a result because I didn't clear it with just my own units. Something else for you to keep note of is that I talked about an elemental fluid earlier, and these are the stages. They alternate in days, so for Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, you'll be able to unlock these three classes, and for Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, you'll be able to unlock these three classes. Sunday is a day where everything is open, so if you want to get your grinding out and you don't want to fuss too much about things, do the grind on Sunday. Just focus on grinding out these on Sunday. The rest of the days, commit it however you please. You can use it to grind out more of these skill books. You can also use it to grind out more of these Mania Essence or these coins. Up to you personally. So, how exactly can you use these units in order to fight in those stages? I'll give you a demonstration over here with Mr. Rotten Cops guy. I don't even know his name anymore. Do you even have a name? Deteriorated brand. I don't even know anymore. Okay. You see, earlier I talked about 6 classes. Each of these classes have their own users. Let me just turn this down. Let me just give an overview of what each particular class does. So Endura over here, they specialize in blocking 2 enemies, which is not bad. That means they can hold the line and keep the enemies at bay while your stronger units deal damage to them. Not a bad idea at all. Not a bad idea. Most of these Endura units have 2 block. As you can see, Demolia 2 block, Cinnabar 2 block, Peggy 2 block, and KK 2 block. Yep, fairly straightforward. Countess Chelsea's a Caliphate. She only has 1 block. But when you consider that her skill summons a C3, which can block 2 itself, then yeah, it's kind of like having an extra party member. So it's understandable why she's a Caliphate. Next up, we have Fury. Fury is one of the most interesting classes. It's a mix between damage dealing as well as being able to hold the lane in a sense. They are one of your primary go-getters when you want to deal damage to an enemy. For example, my choice of a Fury unit is Zoya. Speaking of which, let me just get the promotion out of the way since I already have it. Thick mummy milkers. Anyway, she is my candidate of choice if and when I want to clear some stages. Okay. Fury units tend to focus on dealing damage. As you can see, their attack stat is relatively high. Well, Zoya's is obviously, but their damage stat is relatively high compared to their defense stat. Whereas for Endura units, you tend to see the opposite, where their defense stat is higher than their attack. Fairly straightforward, nothing much to say there, they deal damage. Okay, next are Umbra units. Umbra units have a lot of attack, but paper-thin defense and health, unfortunately. So that doesn't make them very ideal for tanking enemies, but it makes them excellent for sneaking behind enemies to attack. Which is good, surprisingly good. They get this class enjoys a 5% attack bonus if you manage to place them behind the enemy. A strategy that I don't mind sharing right now. In fact, let's give an example test run. Okay, let's move my units back a little further and go. What I mean by Umbras being able to move behind the enemies, well, I'll show you. You see how the enemies are walking forward? Yeah, now you can put her behind the enemy lines and place her here. Notice how there's a small plus attack sign bonus above her head when I place her here. You see how there's a small icon there? Yeah, that's the attack bonus that she gets when she repositions herself behind the enemy. Yeah, that's pretty nice, honestly. Yeah, you can use your Umbra units like this actively in order to position behind the enemy, get as much damage as humanly possible. It's up to you. I'm just going to do this, buff more attack, do this, and cut. Swap them around, keep them healed, make sure everyone is able to survive, deal a lot of damage, hit the boss as hard as you can. That's basically how the gameplay works. You can shift and adjust your units as you please, and you'll be able to clear stages depending on how you want to approach the stage. You can approach it with 6 range units, you can approach it with 6 melee units, but does it make it a good idea? That is a video for another time. There's a video for another time. I wish I could clear some of these stages as an example, but I've already cleared them, and once you've cleared a stage, you can more or less just use the raid button to skip right over the clearing process, which is a very good system in place to streamline the process of grinding. I like it. So let's move on a little bit further to our bureau. Bureau is a place where you can it's basically your office. You know, the sinners, they have their own. If you think of this as their jail cells where you can look over each of their profiles and so on, then you can think of the bureau as an office, your personal office. Here you can plan out the places that you want to dispatch and send these units to. Sometimes you have a special, a special order that you want to meet. For example, this book purchase order gives 15 cubes and a bonus chance of getting an extra 5 hyper cubes. More cubes means more pulls. That's why I'm desperate to find a friend, desperate to find a Pakasi friend a few hours ago in order to get this particular order going. Next up are some of these simpler materials, tear stones, organic elytras, and so on. Each character will use their own exclusive material when it comes to leveling up. Let me give you a demonstration. Over here, my main DPS unit of choice is Zoya. She tends to focus a lot on Twilight Crystals for her skills. Every skill of hers uses Twilight Crystals. So this is the reason why you want to grind story stages. If you're able to clear 7-5, you can just run through the stamina that you have on 7-5 in order to grind up a lot of these Twilight Crystals. And this can help you to strengthen your unit aggressively. She is one of the biggest consumers of Twilight Crystals, which is why you see 0 over here. Well, 1 technically, because the earlier stage, but never mind. So how do we differentiate? Wait, no, that's a bit too early. Let me continue with this. So how do we differentiate between which units are good for this dispatch and which are not? This dispatch, thankfully, is dependent on how you say promotion levels. You see how there's 3 stars for Irene over here, and how there are 2 stars for my chair. Yeah, these dispatches rely on your units having multiple stars, having multiple promotions. The higher the promotions, the more likely it is that the bonus that you see over here occurs. So you want to have a relatively raised roster. You want to have a relatively high average level for your roster, or rather relatively high average promotion level for your roster. This is where you can add friends, talk to your friends, send them points, receive points, up to you. This is where you can organize your the units that your friends can access and borrow. Fairly straightforward. This one's a missions tab, tells you about XYZ, gives you directives for you to complete. It's a sort of goal setting for beginner players. I recommend looking at it. Over here is Potestas. Earlier you saw me use this particular skill in the stage. Last stand. Until the end of battle, all my sinners deal more damage but also take more damage. So when I use it a maximum of 5 times, all of my units take more than double damage, but they deal almost double damage. Very useful for when your units are leveled and strengthened to a specific degree, or if you are facing enemies that don't fight back that much. An example of an enemy that doesn't fight back that much would be 4-12. This thing, the Skeletal Mutant. When he tries to charge up for an attack, he takes a very long time. So that's a perfect place to use a last stand skill in order to speed up your clear. Another place that you can use the last stand skill as well is over here in order to increase your score. Clear as fast as possible. Potestas are useful, but if you're not feeling adventurous with this skill, I recommend increasing your heal first, as well as your dark sound. Heal is very useful because access to medics are difficult. Sometimes you don't have a very reliable medic. For example, if your only medic in your roster, which I'll get to soon, if your only medic in your roster is Macchiato, for example, her healing isn't very reliable, since she can only heal 1 unit every 30 seconds, and that's not very favorable, is it? Yeah, so that's basically how it goes down. Depending on what you and your roster develops into, the potency of these skills will differ, and you might want to change your strategy according to what you have, not what some motherfucking YouTuber tells you. Oh, you must pull this unit, you must pull that unit. Yeah, you can, but how about you use your brain for one fucking moment and think about what you're actually doing there. I'm just saying. What I'm pressing over here is what you call a secret society. Basically, it's a guild, it's an armada, whichever you prefer. It's just a place for players to gather together and give them more incentive to trade with each other. Not a bad idea at all, because you can not this one. You can use this mutual aid to give your friends items and receive items from your friends, or just from strangers. Doesn't have to be your friends, but it's kind of sad if you're just playing with strangers. I'm just saying. Okay, down here in this cube-like looking icon are your inventories, your inventory stock, your stock, I guess. This basically keeps track of all of the items you have, all of the boxes that you've gotten. You can use these to strategically choose, for example, which material you want a bunch of. You can just trade for them if you need to, if you want to. Let's say, for example, I'm interested in raising my caster unit, which is under arcane. So I'm going to use this exchange for 18 of them and move. How did I get 17? I thought I traded 18. Whatever. I don't care anymore. Okay, Irene over here. I'm lacking in Mania Essence. What do I do? Look at how quick this goes. Just press start rate. Boop, done. I have the essence now. You see how effective this raiding system is. You want to be able to clear your units actively in order to do that shit. Okay, last button that I haven't pressed over here would be this factory. Take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this right now. Okay, now I'll explain why you have to take a screenshot. You see how these you see how these lines run across these facilities and units? You have to set them manually. Okay, you have to set them manually. And here's something interesting that you should know. If you don't set your connections properly, let me just do this and designate route. Beep, 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 beep. Let's say I decide to put my room down there. And let me just click on this. Beep, 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 beep. And save. Notice how over here it says low efficiency. The current material transport distance can reach the highest efficiency within 5 grids. So you want to keep your units, your rooms as close to each other as humanly possible. In order to do this, you want to follow the setup that I just showed you. You want to move this room up here so that when you have to designate a route, there's 1, 2, 3. There's only 3 bars there. There's only 3 bars that the particular resource has to travel in order to reach your room. Similarly for this one, 1, 2, 3 and connect to the room. Wait, what? Yeah, okay. That way, you have a high efficiency for your materials and you won't have to run dry. This is important. Why is this important? Because this is your supervision chamber. So this is the economy of the game. This is where you can get stronger, get more powerful, and you want to be able to gather resources even when you are not paying attention. That way, it pays off for you in the long run. So let me run a little bit into the resources that you have available. This one allows you to turn these joy crystals and sanity crystals into coins. Apparently, people like getting high. they get high on joy and they want to think rationally while they are high, so it's basically hallucinogenic. This one combines a sanity crystal and a joy crystal to get energy. You see how both of these are contributing to hallucinogens? Yeah, this is a terrible economy. You're not doing a very good thing. You're a warden, but that doesn't mean you're above the law. Actually, the fact that you're doing this means that you are above the law. Anyway, not implying anything here. Anyway, Mania Essence over here. You take Joy Crystals and Insanity Crystals. And all of these rooms have their own needs and own requirements in order to power themselves up. So, this one is a recreation area. This is where people can get high. You want this in a position where this room, and this room can easily access. This center room, and this extraction room can easily access the materials that you have going forward. You want to ration out how you want these rooms to be connected, basically, and it's only when you level these particular management center up that you are able to reposition some of these rooms. You see how I try to move this joy room, and it tells me it can be moved when the management center reaches level 9. So before it reaches level 9, you want to take a screenshot of whatever I have here. This is important. I'll repeat one more time, just in case you didn't catch the memo. Take a fucking screenshot of my base right now and copy it in your own. Okay. I didn't have to stretch it out that far, but I've seen enough newbies tell me, how do you do this? How do you do that? Fuck you. I told you like 3 to 4 times. You can rewatch the fucking VOD if you don't have an idea. Now you have an idea. Okay. Team compositions. Let's talk about team compositions. Alright. Any number of ways can be used to divide your units. You can divide them based on their class, you can divide them based on their quality, it doesn't matter. Personally, I only see them in 2 categories. Proactive and reactive. Proactive units have a red icon on their skill because they have the ability to break cores. You see how this one has core damage 1? You see how this one has core damage 1? Yeah, you want a mix of proactive units and reactive units inside of your roster. Proactive units can break cores actively and allow you to trigger some of the nonsense. Earlier you saw how when I was clearing this particular DC stage, the enemy slowed down, right? If you remember, while I was clearing this stage, let me just move this up so that I'll show you an efficient, clear example, I guess. Why not? Yeah, I'm using my skill, buffing their attacks. Let's speed it up. I don't have to slow down to show like demonstrations anymore. Reposition my units aggressively just so I can clear faster. Yeah, there we go. You see how that guy in the center has a core? Yeah. I'm going to slow down a little bit. Oh, I didn't get to pop the core. Too late. Whatever. Notice how the boss down here has 3 cores? Yeah. Use this skill, use this skill. The core is broken, you get 2 energy, you can use your chief's skill, and that way allow you to deal more damage actively to the boss. You see how the boss is literally melting. His HP bar is going lower and lower. Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to plan out how to break these boss cores, slow down the boss, and deal sufficient amounts of damage. So any team that you make needs to have a mixture between let me just get back here. Needs to have a mixture between those with red icons and those without. You ideally want those with red icons to have enough core damage to break the cores of the units on stage. They are the ones that will carry your team. These that do not have any of the red icons in their in their class, they can't really break cores, but they can deal damage or they can perform healing, for example. These are reactive units. You can use them in reaction to something. Whereas for these, they are proactive units. You use them in order to initiate something. You know how in LOL or like some shitty MOBA game, you have units that begin the battle by like CCing the enemy and so on. Yeah, you want enough raid units because they are the CC initiators. Anyway, how you build your unit is entirely up to you. I mentioned earlier that if you don't have very good healing options, you can consider you can consider using the heal ability on your chief, and yeah, that's one way to look at it. But there is no genuine set way of building your roster, building your team. Let me explain. Victoria over here has an interesting skill where each rose penetration hit attaches 1 stack of rose. An enemy with 3 of them will immediately take magic damage and restore a little bit of HP for her. If you couple her with 99, for example, in your team, where she has innate lifesteal, you see how it says here increases lifesteal by 5%, and when she has promotion 2, she gets an increase of her lifesteal ability by 10%. So she'll be basically leeching like 15% of her damage as health. So you want her to be able to deal a lot of damage in order to heal a lot. In order to do this, I recommend using, for example, where is she? I recommend using a buffer like, why can't I find her? Wait. Chameleon, there we go. I recommend using a unit like Chameleon. Chameleon here is able to increase the attack speed of your ally. with her skill, with Deep Suggestion. That way, your ally will be able to attack faster, heal better, and thusly heal better. 99 is a great beneficiary of this, and as shown earlier, Victoria is also a fairly good beneficiary of this as well, because she has some innate healing inside of her, and Chameleon doesn't exactly have very active forms of healing, but her suggestion over here can give you not only a damage bonus, which means that 99 can heal better, but she's also able to increase the she's also able to increase the effect of her skill, because all catalysts over here are able to benefit from her skill every time she uses it, and that's pretty good. And not only that, when she's at potential 2, she'll be able to give more attack speed onto your other units. This is very good, because the more attack speed that 99 has, the more healing she's going to receive, because she's going to attack faster, she's going to heal from each hit. It's going to help in the long run. Let me just unselect this. The example I showed earlier, Luvia Ray with her Thick Mummy Milkers, yes, right, she also benefits from attack speed. You see how her skill over here, cost of 6, this allows her to gain an attack speed bonus, and get back there. When she uses her ultimate, she'll be able to alter, and she'll be able to change and alter between both of these modes. Luvia, one of her personalities, is able to deal damage that bounces. Ray, on the other hand, deals better single target damage. You want to be able to juggle and think about how you want to approach this stage. And because of the attack speed bonus, she'll be able to deal more damage and be able to switch her kit accordingly to what the stage requires. It's very good. It's very good. Depending on how you want to build your team, you can have different ways and different means of justifying how and why you want this particular unit with you. Let me try and explain why I raised these 7 units. Well, technically 6. Nox isn't exactly a old member. She joined recently. I raised her this high. I wanted to see how her physical penetration skill works. So she's not exactly in the official team yet. So let me run down the 6 units I used earlier. Let's start with the proactive units, the units that have a rate on their icon and their ability to break cores. Che, the reason I chose Che is because of this. His Happy Hunting here does 1 core damage to everything in his range. You see how he's able to deal core damage in an AoE, and that's pretty good. Everything inside of that range will take 1 core damage when he uses his skill. Sometimes you face stages where multiple units with 1 core will come out, and when he uses his skill, you'll be able to hit all of them at the same time. It's pretty good. Not only that, you bring him to promotion too. His core damage increases by 1, so each skill of his breaks 2 cores, and that's pretty powerful. That means I can... That means I don't need to put 5 of these proactive units in my team to support my single DPS dealer. I can just stick with 4 and go with something else. That is why I put Chair on my team. Let's talk about Labyrinth next. The reason I put Labyrinth on my team, it's mainly because she has this Fatal Protocol. When an enemy has 1 core remaining, and I use her skill, this one, Purge Order, to break the enemy core, it resets. So it gains another charge. It gains a free charge. So if you have multiple of these enemies with like 1 core, you can literally use her Purge Order to break 1 core, then use her to reposition, break another core, reposition, break another core. Again, the idea with Labyrinth is that she's more of a unit meant for clearing out many tiny core units. That's her utility, and that's how powerful she is. EMP for this instance, she's able to you can see from here from her normal attack range that she attacks very far. That's pretty good. That means less units having the crowd at the front of the stage and take damage from the boss. Not a bad idea at all. More importantly, she also breaks a core with her skill, and not only that, she has this, yes, this one, double arrow. When she kills an enemy, she can refresh her skill, so she's able to pick off units that are near death. Do you hear me? She can pick off units when they're near death, whether or not they have a core or not. So it's a sort of execution effect. That means, you know, I'm able to cheat on the core breaking skill that much more. Any ability for me to cheat out the core breaking and lessen the amount of pressure I have to deal with is the reason. No, it's the impetus, the reason for me building that particular unit. Oliver, in this case, she's sort of a weird example, but I think I picked her because of her range. She's able to target multiple core damage units in an area. Sometimes you have enemies that deal a lot of damage, and Labyrinth can't use that chain core breaking. That's when Puppet Game comes in play, because Oliver is able to deal 1 core damage to everything inside of it. No. She's able to deal 1 core damage to everything inside of this cross range. And not only that, she also has this interesting interesting effect where she's able to apply a sort of bleed on her enemies. You know, she attacks, it looks like it's so mediocre, like every attack of hers is like kind of weak. There's like 56% damage, then at max level it's 95% damage. But when you think about her first promotion, where she applies a puppet effect to the enemies, it's basically poison, it's basically bleed. She attacks an enemy for like slightly less than her max damage, and then the enemy takes nearly that same amount of damage over a duration. That's not bad at all, especially when sometimes you have to position and reposition your units actively. You can put Oliver on a specific tile to attack an enemy, but you know, something spawns very near her, you want to reposition her. You can still keep the damage ticking on the enemy while you move Oliver away to safety. That's the reason why I picked her. Ariel is a fairly straightforward pick. She's one of the stronger healers. As you can see over here from her promotion 1, during a battle, she heals all allies within a 3x3 around her. So if you can only bring 6 units, so if you put the other 5 units right around her, like, you know, barricading themselves, treating her like a VIP of sorts, she's able to heal all 5 of the units very passively. You don't have to actively, you know, seek out the unit to heal and so on. There are good good and bad points about her skill. Her heal up is AoE, so she can heal pulse your units actively, and you don't have to worry too much about having 2 or 3 having multiple units at low health. Whereas for other healers, let me give an example. For Anne, for example, her phase 1, basically her first promotion skill, allows her to heal an allied sinner with the lowest HP percentage with a 10-second cooldown. So she's able to heal 1 target for 10%. So no matter where the target is, the lowest health target will be able to benefit from Anne. So it encourages a very different sort of playstyle. And yeah, that's basically how you want to approach your team building. Well, I've talked enough about the proactive and the reactive. Let's talk about the Mummy Milker damage. Oh, my goddess. Anyway, Zoya deals a lot of damage. Her punches hurt very much. Her skill over here not only applies large AoE damage around her immediately, it also terrifies all of the enemies and forces them to run away from the chief, basically. Extreme violence over here. Every 3rd attack of hers deals an extra bit of true damage, which is pretty good. And if she singles out a specific target, for example, if she's fighting a boss, she just keeps punching the same boss over and over and over again, she'll be able to gain attack speed from doing it. She'll be able to stack that attack speed up to 15 times. She's intended as a bossing unit, as a bossing character. All of my other units over here, Chair, Labyrinth, EMP, Oliver, Ariel, they're all mainly for supporting the playstyle that Zoya offers. She's supposed to deal a lot of damage to bosses. She specializes in dueling with bosses, And so all of the other units over here focusing on core breaking makes it such that if the boss starts to overpower Zoya, these units will be able to core break the boss and prevent the amount of damage that Zoya will have to endure. That way, not only can Ariel slowly heal up the entire team while Zoya goes to town on the boss, it also reduces the amount of pressure that I have to deal with. You see how the team building can be structured that way. But at the same time, it's not like other team building strategies are not viable. Let me bring this back. I can't believe I'm using Broken Frontline as an example again. I can't even select an easier difficulty. Fuck me. Team building examples. Anyway, go back down, all of you. Okay. Earlier I mentioned another example where you can use 99 over here. She's a unit with lifesteal, fairly powerful. Not only that, you can use, where is she? Here we go. You can use a chameleon over here in order to increase her attack speed. Not only that, there's another unit that benefits from attack speed as well. Luvia Ray, fairly powerful, fairly good. Aside from these, another unit you can consider is Demolia. Demolia has innate healing on herself. In her kit, let me show you. Her normal swings will be able to deal fairly large amounts of damage with her physical attack. Her rally skill allows her to regain health, restore 30% of her max HP when she uses the skill actively. When she's at first promotion, for each enemy that she blocks, she receives a bonus in healing. So she's able to receive 10% bonus healing if she's blocking 2 enemies. And the effect somehow can stack up to 3 times in battle. I'm not sure how she is able to block a 3rd enemy, but I'm not going to question it. But the important thing is that her promotion tool works very well with Luvia Ray. Look over here. When an allied sinner uses their ultimate, Demolia instantly restores 4% of her max HP. The effect has a 3-second cooldown. When you consider Luvia Ray, where is she? Luvia Ray. When you consider how Luvia Ray's ultimate has a cost of 6, you can constantly switch her skills in battle actively in order to trigger Demolia's healing over and over and over and over again. This amount of healing that you can get from Luvia Ray and Demolia is higher than the amount that Ariel and Anne can put out for your team. But of course, the only downside is that Demolia is the only individual that can benefit from this buff. So yeah, you have a very big variety of ways. You have a big variety of ways to build your team, depending on what your team needs, what your mummy milkers of choice requires, and how you want to approach each stage. I won't force you to build a very specific unit. I don't think it's a very good philosophy or principle that, oh, this unit does the most damage, this unit does the best. That's shit, okay? You hear other YouTubers out there telling you how to build this motherfucking unit in this motherfucking game. Don't trust them. Don't fucking trust them. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay. Anyway, just to show an example of how you can build units. That is pretty much all from me. That's all you really need to know as a beginner. I don't know. If you want to keep watching this video and listen to me ramble about like events and like supply office stuff, then go ahead. Otherwise, you can literally turn off this video right now. Okay, if you had your warning, I'm moving on. Assistance, assist mode is very good. It tells you like the stuff that you have to clear every day. So it's good for those who don't have a lot of time to spend on this game. You just click on this. Oh, well, this is the thing I have to do. I have one free purifier today. I can spend it if I want. Yeah, that's fine. You have a new friend request. These people want to add you. Let's just press a stick. Yeah, okay, you're part of my friends list now. Yeah, you too. Yeah, you 3. I can't add anymore. Let's just dismiss them all. Okay, nah. Very straightforward. Doesn't take a monkey and a half to work out how this works. Supply office is basically where you can spend money, where you can spend real money and in-game currency. All of this shit. All of this shit enough. Oh god, I can't believe it. Anyway, fragment redemption. When you pull multiple units, I can't demonstrate that unless I pull. Okay, let's just pull and give an example. Why not? This is what it looks like when you pull. You basically send this squad across town to like pick up on all these stragglers, blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay, whatever. Okay. Over here, sorry, I had to do that to demonstrate a point. There's this fragment redemption button. You can click on this if your units are already at max shackles. Basically, the part that I told you to ignore earlier. If they're already at max shackles, you can use the excess and convert them into this resource. If you've played Ark Knights, you've seen how this works. It's basically the green tickets that you can use to trade for like materials or like recruitment tickets and all the other good and fun stuff. That's not very different from this anyway. Battle medal. Earlier I fought that guy in that stage. Yeah, you clear that stage high enough, you get points. You can use those points to trade for stuff. I recommend trading for Soul Rift. Soul Rift over here reduces a target's defense by 4% after every normal attack for 5 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. This is very powerful, especially for some units that attack very quickly. What are some units that attack very quickly? Let me give an example. One good example of a unit that attacks very quickly is Flora. If I can find her fucking face somewhere. I saw her. There you are. Oh, piece of shit. You see how her attack speed is 2. Yeah, she attacks very quickly compared to like whatever team I've had. Zoya now 0.86. Nox now 0.86. Ariel now 0.75. Oliver 1. Not bad, not bad. EMP now 0.75. Labyrinth now 0.86. Chair 1.7. Most of my units are slow attackers, but if you're planning on building Flora as part of your active team, her range is a little bit smaller, but she deals an insane amount of normal attacks. So if you use that Soul Rift, if you use this particular Soul Rift Battle Medal with Flora, you'll be able to apply a lot of defense downs to these units aggressively. And that's fine. You know, depending on how you want to build your team, you can have variances. It's fine to be different. I'm different, yeah, I'm different. Anyway, Alliance. This is you saw earlier how we had a secret society thing. Yeah, this is what you can trade that for. It's basically guild points. Over here, friendship, friend tokens, basically. You can use them to trade for like monthly rewards, weekly rewards, or daily rewards. Up to you. I won't judge you. Sample over here, dark samples. These are from the Oblivion pit that I clicked on earlier. I told you, oh, you have this thing to clear, you have one purifier. Yeah, that's what you use those points on, to clear out these shops, to clear out these content. The very last one is just telling you to spend, but that's all in USD, so I'm not gonna press that shit. Anyway, events. Before we get to the events tab, over here there's the login bonus rewards. You can see the forecast of like the bonuses, the shit you can get in the future. Over here there's this arrow button. I think this is exclusive right now and only right now. Basically, if you start playing the game, you'll be able to get all of these rewards, and eventually you'll get one free copy of Nox. I haven't tried Nox actively in battle yet, but I'm hoping that she does something interesting that Zoya can't do. Maybe if Zoya is a more boss focused duelist, then maybe I don't know, Nox might be a more crowd control focused duelist. Maybe she clears like waves and groups of enemies very reliably or something. I can't say, I can't tell. Anyway, pre-registration, get this quickly, log in, claim the rewards, move. Support pursuit, or right now we have these trial stages for them. It says suspect pursuit, like, oh, we have to catch these criminals. Here's their MO, here's their modus operandi. We have to work out how they fight, how they are used, and yeah, they are great stages. I recommend clearing these stages at least once. They really test and train your ability to clear this stage and reach the high level, reach the high level plays in this game. Let me give an example. A lot of my friends tell me, oh, Countess Chelsea stage, the clearing this stage is so damn difficult. Yeah, I agree. Let me show you how difficult it is though. I get only one deployment. I can't borrow any assist units. This is all I have. I have to use Countess Chelsea to clear this entire stage. And that's fine, you know, that's fine. The victory requisite, there's only one victory requisite. I'm not allowed to leak any enemies. I can reposition up to 15 times. Sure, let's go. How do I clear this stage? Depends on you. Depending on how you want to play the game and what playstyle actively aiming for, you can have different ways of clearing this stage. I'm going to buff up Countess Chelsea a little bit here. Once she kills that guy, I'm going to reposition her down. Normally, you want to position your units to the far right because your positioning affects the amount of time they take in order to clear these units. You see how that was a tight timing? Yeah, that's basically what I was referring to earlier. Anyway, summon a Panther there, start whacking the enemy. Once the enemy dies, reposition, start punching, start hitting. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. You want to move your units aggressively upwards in order for them to deal damage. I'm going to buff her skill a little bit. Make sure that she's able to, work well. I'm nearing death. You see how I'm nearly dead right now? I am dead right now. Because I misused my skill earlier. I could have let the skill I could have used the Reigns of Power, this Empower skill a little later. You can tell that these stages are not easy. These are practice stages, but they also introduce you to high level play. I recommend clearing these stages. If you're a fucking beginner, you want to know how this game plays, you want to know how this game works. Do it. Do it for fuck's sake, do it. No, I won't be able to block it in time, so I have to deploy it down here. Yeah, punch, punch, punch. Sorry, you need sound? You need sound. Alright. Punch the enemy, come on. Punch. Okay. Sorry about that, I've been playing it on mute for a while. I should have turned on the audio a little early. Fuck me, I got distracted. Oh boy. Oh boy. Sorry. Not a very good showcase at the moment. I'm committed to show you how exactly these stages contribute to high level play, so I'm committed. Fuck, I'm committed, do it. There is one set way to clear this stage, and you just have to memorize how to clear the stage. Come on, punch the unit already. Takes forever when in slowdown mode, man. Not my boat. Punch. There we go. This is when her skill becomes active. Put the leopard down. Let it block. Now move up aggressively. Start dealing DPS to these things. Don't wait. Don't wait. Doesn't matter. Her health is almost not going down at all, so don't wait. Use the leader skill to basically milk out a bit more SP. Don't be skimpy. Wait. Okay, my Panther disappears here, but her skill's not active. This is when I can use her skill, put it down, and summon another Panther. That way, they won't leak. I clear all the enemies on stage. You see how aggressive this stage is. I can't even hit those guys with my current. Fuck. Whatever. At least I can do it this way. The Panther has range, but I don't. So I can just body block with Chelsea and let the Panther smack for me. You can use these strategies. You have to learn the mechanics of these units, and these pursuit stages give you a very good example of how these units are really used in battle and how you can maximize their potential. They are great puzzles because they force you to understand the units. I recommend playing these if you're a fucking beginner. If you're not a beginner, you just witness how exactly the Countess Chelsea stage is cleared. Congratulations, you can now clear yourself. This jackpot, just spend money, basically. I love Ruleka's voice line, and I haven't put for her, unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. Anyway, it's more or less all I have to say to you, unless you want to, I don't know, hang around a little bit more while I talk about some of the miscellaneous stuff that I haven't touched yet. Over here, this is the document. You can see my name, hella cute. hella cute! Oh! That's my UID, that's when I join. I'm part of Aknats, because I like to nut. Anyway. These are the sinners I have. These are the achievements I've got, the attires I have, medals. You can add more medals as you get them eventually. Don't fuss about it. This emotion check button over here happens every day. You continue this for like a couple of days, you'll be able to get rewards later on. It's a daily thing. Not bad at all. Burial perks, special perks, and so on. Up to you. on whether or not you want to read these news, but sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're not. Up to you. Right. Now that you have watched it this far, let's say you're a whale who wants to, participate and join this game, but you're late. You want to know what the scene is like. How exactly does the economy work? Okay, let's go. Suppose, for example, no, that's not a good stage to practice with. Suppose, for example, that you want to clear this stage. You don't mind spending a bit of money, and you want to know how the exchange goes. Okay. The first two exchanges are 40-40, the second two exchanges are 80-80, 120-120, 200-200. The last two purchases of stamina from hypercubes are 300 and 300. If you're a big whale, you want to spend, you don't mind spending the hypercubes for stamina, you can spend it all. You can spend all 10 a day. I won't stop you. I don't mind. But if you're a younger, newer player, or if you have friends who want to join this game and they want to hear a recommendation, you tell them, just trade for the first four. The first four has the highest efficiency. You get to get 40% of the total amount of stamina you can get from exchanging at 16% of the cost. That's a very good exchange. If they're on a budget, if they want to save up hypercubes for pooling units, that's fine too. They can just do two stamina exchanges a day. If they trade two, they spend 80 in order to get 20% of the stamina that they can get. That's 5%. The 5% budget is fairly good if they want to economize and go for the long game. Play the game, enjoy it, but not fall behind so much that the game can't be cleared, but at the same time not spending too much that that their wallets get broke in the process of strengthening their in-game wallet. So yeah, that's about it from me. You wanna hit me up or something? Well, you know who I am. I'm hella cute. I'm also known as the this guy who's doing English coverage on Core Leash that no one ever plays or talks to. Come join me, talk to me on YouTube, Discord, whatever. Blah. Bye.